I'm in a loyalist area of Belfast. Just a few meters away is a nationalist neighborhood. You don't actually see the divisions, but they strongly exist in the minds of people who live here. The polarization of a community is very familiar to school children from Palestine and Israel. And last year, 2 groups from the Middle East visited Irish schools, including 2 here in North Belfast. The boys' model school is in a staunchly loyalist area, and less than a mile up the road, surrounded by paramilitary posters and loyalist flags, is Our Lady of Mercy Girls' Catholic School, protected by security gates, a security guard, and barbed wire. The visits were coordinated by Darren Evan as part of a project called Schools Across Borders. He has just returned from the Middle East with video material from the Israeli and Palestinian school children.
I mean, there's a certain amount of stuff that a country can give and care for the Palestinians. I know, let's say about the fence, it goes through everything and children can't get to school, but on the other side, it's like we need to have a safety.
They say that they build it for security, but in the truth, they build it to take our land.
Okay.
It's the only project of its kind actually linking up both Israeli and Palestinian students. It's giving them a chance to communicate with students in a third country, and it's only logical that I come here to Belfast to work with both sides, because the Israeli and Palestinian students, they feel that we here in Ireland and here in Northern Ireland have something to say. Do you think the fact that our girls knew 7 or 8 of the teachers' cars were firebombed here, and they sent their message of awareness and understanding, did you appreciate that?
It shows that they know what's happening.
Is it important to know?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they need to know why people live in other places.
We're not here to speak about peace and reconciliation. Everybody wants that deep down, but we have to recognize where we are and the heat of the conflict.
Most children in the Catholic schools relate to the Palestinian experience, and the Protestants tend to empathize more readily with the Israelis.
There aren't too many students on the Unionist side connecting with Palestinians, are there? Or how does your family feel about that?
My family's been pretty happy with it, because they think it would make you a better person if you know other people's, where they're living and their culture and what's happening where they live.
Okay. Our students here get to see Israeli students, Palestinian students, their faces, hear about their interests, their hobbies, their dreams, their ambitions for the future, and there's that affective side too. It's not all about bringing the misery of the Middle East into our classrooms, it's about showing young people as they are and giving them a chance to communicate.
We can show them that some of us do support peace and we don't all hate Arabs.
2 Bollywood productions were due to be filmed in Ireland, but because of visa problems, crews have been forced to go elsewhere. The Department of Justice, Equality and Law Reform has denied access to 34 Indian filmmakers, refusing them visas on the grounds they have no obligation to return home.
I've never had a problem with other countries, I have to say. I've brought in crews from many countries that require visas. Obviously Europeans don't, but say with Americans, for example, they would be issued very quickly. It would seem to me that there's a different attitude towards crews from developing countries, and that visa applications are being blocked as a group rather than looking at individual applicants. The Bollywood industry is vast. There's an economic report showing that it'll be worth roughly €1.8 billion by the year 2007, and we're turning our back on a percentage of that money, so it has quite serious implications for the industry.
The Bollywood film industry is already bigger than Hollywood. While the use of foreign locations is common in these films, this visa problem may send warning signals to producers, ruling Ireland out of future productions.
The Department of Justice are aware of these problems and they are looking at it. The biggest concern really is the time that this is taking, because this is obviously an ongoing problem. I've started working with Indian companies a year ago, and the Irish Film Board began their work a significant amount of time before that. If this issue isn't dealt with quickly, I think that the Indian companies are just going to go elsewhere.